Okay, so have you ever been like at a flea market, right? And you spot this amazing vintage record player?
Oh, yeah.
You know, the one, I mean,
Yeah.
it's like calling your name, but then you see the price tag and you're like, whoa, okay, time to haggle.
Right.
You're basically negotiating right there on the spot.
And it's funny how many people don't even realize they're doing it every day.
Totally. And that's what we're diving into today with Mitch Jackson's book,
Oh, cool.
Master the Art of Negotiation.
Love that book.
It's so good.
Yeah.
He says negotiation isn't just for lawyers and CEOs. It's like in everything we do.
It's true. It's so true.
I love how he calls negotiation an art form. It's like he even compares different styles to dances like the tango or waltz.
It's about understanding that dance, right?
Yeah.
Being adaptable,
Yeah.
responsive,
Yeah.
not just trying to outsmart the other person.
I love that analogy. So it's not about like sticking to a script.
Not at all.
It's more about reading the room, feeling the vibe. So how do we become better dancers, so to speak? Where do we even start?
Well, Jackson's big on preparation.
Makes sense.
Huge proponent of it. He says success starts way before you even get to the negotiating table.
Like you wouldn't just start waltzing without knowing the steps.
Exactly. You got it.
Right.
And one of his key things is this BTNA thing.
BTS.
Best alternative to a negotiated agreement.
Oh, right. Okay.
It's like your backup plan.
Okay. So say I'm back at that flea market eyeing that record player.
Okay.
My BTNA would be what, like walking away, finding a different seller?
Right. Maybe looking online.
Okay. I'm starting to get it.
And that's powerful because it means you don't have to take a bad deal.
You have options.
Options, exactly.
You're not desperate.
Right.
Yeah.
It's all about that art we were talking about.
Yeah, strategy, not just demands.
And that's where that preparation comes in.
Knowing your BTNA, your goals, what you're willing to give up.
Exactly. And then you can be flexible during the negotiation. That's how you get those win-win solutions.
Which is what we all want, right?
Of course. Who doesn't love a win-win?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about being prepared, knowing our BATNA, being flexible.
Right.
But what about like the actual negotiation? How do you make sure you're not getting steamrolled?
That's the heart of it, isn't it?
Especially if you're someone who hates conflict.
This is where Jackson gets really interesting. He says, it's not about crushing the other side.
Okay.
It's about finding those solutions that work for both of you.
Sounds kind of idealistic. How do you actually do that in real life?
Well, he tells this great story in the book. It's a legal negotiation he was involved in.
Okay.
2 companies, right? They were partners. Things went sour. Now it's a legal battle.
Oh, wow.
Accusations, flying lawyers circling.
I bet.
And, as a lawyer, it'd be easy to get caught up in that whole fighting mentality.
Totally.
But Jackson, he steps back and asks, what if there's a bigger pie here?
A bigger pie.
Yeah, instead of fighting over crumbs, what if we could make something even better?
Okay. I like where this is going.
So how do you turn rivals into collaborators, right? Even in the middle of a lawsuit.
Right.
He says it starts with really listening.
And I don't just mean like waiting for your turn to talk.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's deeper than that. You have to actually hear their concerns, their needs, even their frustrations.
It's about understanding where they're coming from.
Yes. And then acknowledging that, saying, I hear you.
Showing them you get it.
That could be so powerful in those tense moments.
Because it shows you're not just trying to win at all costs.
Right. You're actually trying to find a solution that works.
So what happened with these companies?
So Jackson, he's listening, right? And he starts to ask questions. And he finds this shared passion.
What do you mean?
They both care deeply about the same charitable cause.
Wow, so even in this legal battle.
Yeah, even then they had common ground.
And that changed things.
It completely shifted the dynamic. Suddenly it wasn't us versus them anymore. It was, how can we work together to support this thing we both believe in?
So instead of a winner-take-all situation?
Exactly. They found a way to collaborate.
That's amazing.
It really is. They reached a settlement that not only resolved their legal issues, but also included a big donation to that charity.
Wow. So they turned a negative into a positive.
And that's the power of collaboration. You find creative solutions that go beyond just the negotiation itself.
I love that.
Me too. It's inspiring, right?
Totally. So how do we take these big ideas and apply them to our own lives?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah, like it's easy to see it in a big legal battle.
Right.
But what about like everyday stuff,
Oh, totally. I mean, think about it. Arguing with your partner over who does the dishes.
Okay, yeah.
That's negotiation right there.
True.
Or asking your boss for a raise.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Even just setting boundaries with a friend who's always flaking on plans.
I never thought about it that way.
It's everywhere.
But it makes sense.
Yeah.
It's all about figuring out what works for everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why this book is so cool. Even if you're not some big shot lawyer,
Right.
Jackson gives you these tools to handle all those daily conversations.
So it's not about, like, avoiding conflict altogether.
No, not at all.
Because disagreements happen, right?
They do. They're normal.
It's more about knowing how to have those tough conversations.
Exactly. And doing it in a way that's actually productive.
So that means really listening,
Yeah.
trying to understand.
Yes. And validating their feelings, saying, hey, I get where you're coming from.
Even when it's hard.
It can be,
Yeah.
especially if you're someone who hates conflict, but it's worth it.
Because ultimately, it's about having stronger relationships.
That's what it's all about.
I love that. This has been such a good conversation.
It really has.
It's like negotiation isn't just about getting what you want.
Right.
It's about connecting with people, finding solutions that work for everyone.
Absolutely.
And who doesn't want that?
Seriously.
Mm.
If you're listening and you want to learn more, definitely check out Mitch Jackson's book, Master the Art of Negotiation. It's a game changer. And hey, you can even connect with him on LinkedIn. He's always down to chat with readers.
He is. Until next time, remember, even in those tough conversations, there's always room for collaboration.